Now we want to head to your community focus, and today we're taking a deeper dive into the so-called naked fat test scandal and the new charges former North Kingstown basketball coach Aaron Thomas is now facing. Here to talk about that with me is our law enforcement analyst, Stephen O'Donnell. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
So we want to start with the fact that last week Target 12 did report that Thomas was charged with both second-degree child molestation and second-degree sexual assault. And something that people at home might be struggling to understand is just why those two charges, with the fact that the AG's office did a criminal investigation, interviewed over 30 students, but yet these are the only two charges that Thomas is now facing. And I know that there's a statute of limitations on both of them. Can we just talk about what that is, why that might be, and why those two charges are currently standing?
No, certainly. Second-degree child molestation is a lifetime statute of limitation. That's a victim 14 years or under. Apparently, in most of these cases, if not all, barring one, the victims were 15 or older, which brings it into sexual assault, which is a 3-year statute of limitations. That means from the date of that offense that happened, 3 years, the clock ticks. That's the law, and that's what the Attorney General had to deal with.
And we're talking about you and I just a moment ago about how the proceedings will now take place. I know he's going to be in court in about a month. Can we just talk about that and what we can expect to come of that?
Sure. The process is when the case goes to Superior Court, it's either information charged or grand jury. Grand jury is something people have talked about. It's a secret, I wouldn't say secretive, but it's a secret group of people that sit down and discuss, will someone be indicted? If they're indicted on those charges, that case is brought to Superior Court and it goes its course for prosecution. Information charging is where all the information is brought to the Attorney General's office from the police department, in this case North Kingstown. All those statements, they're collated, they're analyzed, and then all those facts are brought into an information charging. They're signed by the Attorney General, and that starts the process in Superior Court. So that's what's happening here. The only difference in this case is it can't release publicly because it's under seal, because the child molestation statutes protect the victims, which they should.
Okay. You know, and just to go off of that, there are other investigations that are being launched. Some by the school department is to come and is expected. Could there be more charges forthcoming based on the conclusions of the additional investigations?
Well, anything's possible if there's information that's covered different than what the Attorney General is privy to. Sometimes that happens. Something may be uncovered later. So you never know when you start investigating where it's going to take you.
Okay, and the Attorney General has declined to say of those limitations that they prevented him from bringing additional charges. He hasn't commented on that. Does it appear to you that the statute of limitations played a factor in that? And is that often a challenge for prosecutors in cases like this?
Well, any historic case is, because the statute of limitations, if it's not this particular case, there's other statute of limitations assigned to it. That's from the General Assembly's perspective. That's up to the General Assembly to change those laws if they see fit. And that's the will of the people, and if legislation gets submitted. But yeah, they struggle as a prosecutors and law enforcement. Statute of limitations happen in a lot of different cases. They're 3-year minimums. So whatever behavior happened before that, you're prohibited from prosecuting that. I don't know if everybody knows that as a victim when things come forward. And this, obviously, the way the case was investigated, it wasn't brought to their attention, at least the way we understand it publicly, and it puts the AGs, not as the AG's fault, they're in a predicament as the police are if it's not a crime. But it doesn't mean that when it's over, there's not an expose about certain things happen, because you saw a plethora of victims in this case come forward and then interviewed that have alleged behavior. So it's just by law, the prosecutors, the AGs can't charge. It has nothing to do with any political decision or anything like that. It's just the way of the law.
Right, and that is something that the AG has said that he was trying to get change. Colonel O'Donnell, thank you so much for being here. And just so you know at home, Aaron Thomas will be arraigned on the 19th of August, though his attorney has said that Thomas denies any criminal wrongdoing. Stephen O'Donnell, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.